This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 6th day of December in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. 3 employees of the Guyana Elections Commission, Chauffeur February, Dennis Bab Cummings and Carolyn Duncan, who are already facing criminal charges in relation to the last elections, invoked their constitutional right to remain silent when they appeared before the Elections Commission of Inquiry this morning. Having been summoned to appear before the Commission, February and Bob Cummings, both of whom were charged by the Guyana Police Force in 2020 for election-related crimes, filed an injunction on Monday to block their appearance. The application was refused when the matter came up in the High Court this morning. That's according to the chairman of the Commission of Inquiry, retired Justice Stanley John.
The Commission is mindful that you, along with others, initiated certain proceedings yesterday. We are all well aware that earlier this morning the court did not grant the injunction sought or the conservatory order. We nevertheless thank you for attending in response to our summons.
Attorney at law Hugh Anderson, who appeared before the Commission on behalf of the 3 GCOM employees, told the Commission that his clients are all facing criminal charges in relation to the same elections, and they should only be asked to provide biometric data.
Ms. Duncan had the allegation put to her specifically by the Guyana Police Force that she, along with others in her capacity as whatever role she performed at the Guyana Elections Commission, conspired to rig the Guyana March 2020 general and regional elections. On that basis, it is my respectful view that their attendance here as witnesses to speak to issues for which they are potentially, well, Ms. Duncan is potentially criminally to be prosecuted, and the others actually being criminally prosecuted. I'm humbly asking for only their biometric data or anything that is in the public information, be that information elicited.
The GCOM employees were nonetheless called before the Commission to testify. However, the chairman, in cautioning them, said the Commission is cognizant of the criminal charges laid against them in relation to the last elections.
Accordingly, it is our duty to remind you of the right against self-incrimination and the right to silence. Additionally, you have the right to be represented by counsel, and counsel is actually here this morning.
Upon taking the stand, each of the 3 women invoked their right to remain silent.
Is there anything you wish to share with the Commission this morning?
No.
Sorry?
No, yeah.
No. Thank you. Do you wish any questions to be put to you?
No, sir. I reserve the right.
Is there anything you wish to share with this Commission?
No, sir.
Thank you. You are relieved from further review.
Thank you.
Do you wish any questions to be put to you, or is there anything you wish to share with the Commission?
Just that I invoke my constitutional right to remain silent under Article 144.
In August of 2020, February was charged with conspiracy to commit fraud. According to the charges laid against her on the 13th of March 2020, she attempted to defraud the public of Guyana by not using figures from the statements of poll while acting as a clerk for District 4. Similar charges were laid against Bob Cummings and Duncan. The women have all denied the allegations and the charges that have been laid against them. More news coming up in just a moment.
Something big is here. GTT presents the moment you've all been waiting for.
'Tis the season to drive with GTT. Get your chance to be one of 4 lucky winners of a Toyota Raise, plus weekly giveaways and more. Simply activate a prepaid plan, sign up for fiber and voice plan, Pay any 2 bills with MMG or join the GTT family. And vroom! It could be you. 4 Toyota raises, 4 winners. Drive with GTT.
At Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Sorrel making, hey, garlic stirring, hey, ham and black cake eating. Now this is Christmas. 'Tis the season to get what you've always wanted with a little help from Republic Bank. Same day approvals apply online. It's time to make it happen for yourself and your family. Get cash back for the best Christmas ever. Sorrel making, hey, garlic stirring, hey, ham and black cake eating. Now this is Christmas.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Some tragic news to report now. A 32-year-old gold miner from Linden was hacked to death at an interior mining camp, and his younger brother, who also worked as a miner, has been left fighting for his life. The two were attacked by another miner. According to information from the Aurora mining area in Region 7, the two brothers were viciously attacked and chopped at the Hopkinson mining camp in Aurora during the early hours of this morning. The dead man has been identified as 32-year-old Raphael Cadogan. The injured younger brother's name has been given as Clive Cadogan. The police commander of Region 7, Senior Superintendent Dion Moore, told News Source that his division received a report of the chopping incident this morning, and investigators have been dispatched to the scene. When contacted by News Source, the mining camp's owner, Sean Hopkinson, confirmed that the incident took place at his Aurora location. The victim's sister, Rochelle Cadogan, told News Source that based on information received, her brother Raphael succumbed to his injuries, while the other brother, the younger one, remains critical. She said based on what the family was told, the chopping incident stemmed from an argument that took place on Monday during a football match. It is alleged that the younger brother and the assailant had an argument, and the assailant got physical, resulting in the older brother Raphael intervening. The older brother told the man who was attacking his younger brother that he should desist from hitting the brother. In response, the man turned his attention to the older brother, and the two men got into an argument. But the two brothers eventually left the area to retire to their beds. It is reported that during the night and the early hours of this morning, the man gained access to the mining camp as the two men slept. He first attacked the younger brother by chopping him to the neck. The brother was on a bed. He reportedly ran to his older brother Raphael for help, but Raphael was attacked at the same time. Reports suggest that Raphael was chopped multiple times about the body and collapsed while trying to run. While the elder brother was pronounced dead at the scene, efforts were being made to rush the younger one out from the area to get further medical attention. The matter is on the police investigation tonight. Well, that proposal by the Chief Elections Officer Vishnu Prasad for there to be a 14-day exercise to correct the register of voters for the upcoming local elections will come up for discussion on Thursday during a special meeting of the Guyana Elections Commission. When the matter came up at today's statutory meeting of GCOM, it was deferred. Elections Commissioner Vincent Alexander said the commissioners felt that it was necessary to examine the application filed by the coalition before arriving at a decision. It was noted that at the time the commissioners had not seen the application filed in the court by the APNU-AFC. The Chief Election Officer in his proposal said though the registers of voters for all 80 local authority areas were extracted in accordance with the provisions of Section 5(6) of the Elections Law Amendment Act, the Commission cannot ignore the concerns of the coalition as detailed in an application filed in the court. Meanwhile, in a statement this afternoon, the governing PPP said it is not opposed to GCOM embarking on another round of claims and objections to address concerns with the voters list for the local elections. And the call by the Chief Election Officer Vishnu Prasad for the Elections Commission to undertake another 14 days of claims and objections to correct the LGE voters list has picked up support from the opposition APNU-AFC. It was the APNU-AFC that first raised the issue that the current list of voters published by GCOM is not in compliance with the law. The opposition has carried the matter to court. During a press conference today, Opposition Member of Parliament Royce Ilford said the opposition feels vindicated by the intervention of the Chief Election Officer. He said further the opposition's position that the list is a faulty one has also been vindicated.
The reason why I refer to the failure of the Guyana Elections Commission to produce the list as I identified in relation to the constituent 3 of this local authority area, because it is manifest that the Guyana Elections Commission, without regard to its obligations, simply put the list out there. Simply put the same list, which was largely a list of dead persons who would not have been qualified to vote in any event, simply put a list of persons who are not resident in a local authority area. Just put it out there. And the citizens must come, the electorate must come to correct it. That is fundamentally flawed and unacceptable.
With this new issue coming to the 4th to 13th of March date for the elections is now in limbo, and according to the opposition member of parliament, the blame should be placed at the feet of the government. He said the government has not been taking issues raised by the opposition into consideration.
Our preliminary investigations would have revealed that the list currently as printed and released to the public does not accurately and properly capture changes of constituency boundaries. There are persons who ought to have been in new boundaries are outside of them, and persons who are within new boundaries as published by the list are not properly so placed based to the requirements.
The opposition has reportedly armed itself with evidence of persons who have died and are still on the list, and of persons who do not reside in certain local authority areas in compliance with the law, and those who were excluded. The submission by the opposition reportedly triggered a move by the Chief Election Officer, who warned the Elections Commission that it could find itself in trouble if it does not adequately address some of the concerns that have been raised.
GBTI Quick Cash Christmas is back, just the way you like it. Get up to $500,000 easy for anything you want this Christmas. We ain't waiting on Santa. We buy and we own this Christmas. Apply at your nearest branch or online at www.gbtibank.com from October 15th to December 31st. GBTI, we see Christmas through your eyes. Terms and conditions apply.
A very Merry Guyanese Christmas.
Let's tell you now that faced with a court action filed by the opposition APNU-AFC, Chief Election Officer Vishnu Prasad has proposed to the Guyana Elections Commission that it moves to facilitate a 14-day exercise to correct the register of voters ahead of local government elections, which are set for the 13th of March next year. In the internal memo to the chairman of the Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, the chief election officer proposed that the commission approves the conduct of a 14-day exercise under Section 24A, correction of registers by the Elections Commission for the elections. He said it would not only guarantee transparency and inclusivity, but would also address the specific concerns of the APNU-AFC coalition, but by extension engender participation of the coalition support base in the upcoming local elections. Mr. Prasad warned that the move would result in a further delay in the conduct of the local government elections and could also affect the current date set for the elections. The chief election officer said though the register of voters, which is the voters list for all 80 local authority areas, were extracted in accordance with the provisions of the Elections Law Amendment Act, the Elections Commission cannot ignore the concerns of the APNU-AFC coalition, as detailed in its application filed in the High Court last week. Through its chief scrutineer, Carol Smith-Joseph, the APNU-AFC has asked the High Court to scrap the voters list released by GCOM because the Commission did not follow the legal procedures as stated for in the law. The GCOM chief election officer in his memo to the chairman said it would appear that the coalition is concerned that the electorate was denied the opportunity to scrutinize the registers of voters with specific reference to the constituency registers. Mr. Prasad also said in an effort to conduct an election that is free and fair, citizens from the onset must be given the opportunity to get registered once they have met the eligibility requirements, and equally be given the opportunity to object to persons who may not have met that eligibility criteria. He said it is important for the Elections Commission to not be seen to be unmindful of the concerns of the coalition, a major political stakeholder. It was noted that the 14-day exercise would enable the correction of the voters list, including claims for entry into the voters list, correction of incorrect listing of particulars of any voter, application of name change, objections to incorrect listings in the registers of voters, and verification of the addresses. The chief election officer has also detailed that all of the corrections will be applied to the registers once approved by the Commission. The National Assembly last night passed a supplementary budget for the government totaling over $47 billion. This is the second supplementary budget sought and passed for by the government over the past 4 months. The national budget was passed earlier this year to the tune of more than $550 billion, which was almost twice as much as the previous year's budget. The second supplementary budget was scrutinized by the opposition, with several questions and clarifications sought as it made its way through the Committee of Supply. Over $2.9 billion that was passed represented advances which were taken from the contingency fund by the government between August and November. The remaining $44 billion covered provisions of various government ministries and also covered allocations to assist the Guyana Power and Light Company with the provision of electricity to several communities across the country. An additional $18.2 billion has been provided under the Ministry of Public Works for the provision of additional resources to facilitate the upgrading of roads and drains in various communities and other major road works, according to the Finance Minister. The Minister of Works said repairs to more than 1,000 roads will be effected through the provisions. The housing and water sector, as well as the security sector, are also seeing additional resources being provided in the supplementary budget. While the problem plagued the Guyana Sugar Corporation has received another $1 billion in supplementary funding to help with the retooling of sugar estates. The sum was approved in the National Assembly on Monday. In explaining the allocation, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said the money will go towards critical works at the estate factories, which is expected to result in the estates operating at an increased pace to reach set targets and goals that have been set by the sugar company. Of the $1 billion sum, $363 million is for the Albion estate, $76 million for the Blairmont estate, and $561 million for the Rose Hall estate. In addition, the Agriculture Minister said a portion of the funds will also go towards fixing equipment that were abandoned at several estates. 3 months ago, the National Assembly cleared a staggering $3.4 billion in supplementary funding for Guyana, and that came less than 6 months after more than $6 billion was allocated in the national budget to the sugar company. In the current financial year, Guyana has now received over $10 billion from the government. Minister Mustafa told the National Assembly that the money that has now been allocated is expected to result in various operational costs at the sugar company being reduced.
Census takers are visiting communities across Guyana and collecting information from every household. This information will help the government to plan better for our country's development. All the information shared will be treated as strictly confidential, and everyone is asked to participate. No one should be alarmed about any question asked, because the answers provided will help to improve living standards, decrease community crime rates, and improve access to housing and healthcare, among other benefits.
The census gives us the tool to identify some of these important gaps that exist across communities, within communities, and across regions, so that we can have targeted intervention.
Yeah, we counting way from region 1 to region 10, the whole country. Yeah, we counting way.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyoil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, the Biden administration will expand deportation relief and access to work permits for Haitians who are already in the U.S. That announcement came from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. It's a move that comes as Haiti's government struggles to stabilize the country. The administration will offer temporary protected status to an estimated 264,000 Haitians for 18 months after the current designation expires in February. Of those, about 101,000 currently have the status and 53,000 have pending applications, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Another 110,000 more recent arrivals would also be covered by the new extension move. Temporary protected status provides deportation protection and permission to work to foreigners who cannot return to their home countries due to a natural disaster, armed conflict, or other extraordinary factors. Armed gangs in Haiti have expanded their power in the country following the 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Since then, Prime Minister Ariel Henry has faced challenges in restoring order. The U.S. first designated Haiti for TPS in 2010, following an earthquake that devastated the island nation. Taking a look at tourism in Bonaire. Bonaire tourism sector is continuing to see significant recoveries from the slump caused by COVID-19. Tourism Corporation Bonaire reported that 14,689 stayover guests arrived on the island for the month of November, which is an increase of almost 10% from the same month back in 2019. The group reported that the European market outperformed all other registered market number of visitors' arrivals. Bonaire reports a strong result from its top two key markets. A total of 3,337 Americans and 7,539 Dutch visitors came to Bonaire. There was a total of more than 1,500 people arriving in Bonaire from the neighboring island of Curaçao, which is 11% of all arrivals. Germany, Belgium, Canada, Switzerland, and the UK are among the secondary markets that have kept their market share when compared to the previous month of October. And finally tonight, international news. The U.S. Congressional Committee investigating last year's Capitol riot will make criminal referrals to the Justice Department, its chairman says. Benny Thompson, a Mississippi Democrat, told reporters that the committee had agreed to take the step, but was still discussing who to refer. The committee was expected to meet later today to discuss the next steps. The Democrat-led panel in the House of Representatives has been looking into the 6th of January 2021 attack on the U.S. Congress. Hundreds of supporters of former President Donald Trump stormed the Capitol building on the day in a bid toward the certification of Joe Biden's election victory. Some 900 people have been arrested in relation to the riot, leading to hundreds of criminal charges. A total of 173 persons have been sentenced for crimes, including assault, entering a restricted area, and destruction of government property. The House committee has previously signaled that it could make criminal referrals to the Justice Department relating to the efforts of the former President Donald Trump and his allies to challenge the results of the 2020 elections in the U.S. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.